Good afternoon and welcome to the Ragg, just outside Thurles, home of Tipperary Camogie. We're here today for the opening round of the Littlewoods Ireland Division 1 Group 1 game between the hosts Tipperary and newly promoted Down. On the opening weekend of the league campaign, it's Tipperary who play host to Down here. As I said, Down newly promoted from Division 2 last year, and Tipperary who came within a whisker of being in last year's league final. Huge afternoon of action ahead. I'll be joining Mal later on commentary, but first up, let's hear from both camps. Tip Senior Camogie Manager Bill Mullaney. Bill, new year, new goals I suppose, but back in the Ragg to start it all off.
Yeah, look, it's great to be back, with Tip and back in the Ragg, our home in Tipperary, at the start of the league. Conditions aren't great, but I mean, we have to get the league off to a start, and we'll, hopefully we're set against a tough Down team.
Yeah, exactly. Newly promoted from Division 2 last year, so I'm sure they'll have ambitions of making an impact in the league. But likewise for yourself, you had a good run in the league last year, came within probably a whisker of contesting maybe a league final, so anxious to maybe get back to the top there?
Yeah, exactly. But I think this year with the league being a bit earlier as well, the conditions and the weather is a bit softer or damper or whatever way you want to describe it. Yeah, we came within a whisker of it last year, so we do want to get going. We want to get off to a good start today.
Yeah, and I suppose there's no room for error this year with a top team just going through straight to a final. So it's not like you have the cushion of maybe a semi-final or maybe to slip up along the way. If you want to top the table, you probably need to look at winning every game.
Exactly. I think all the teams in the group, whether for your own ambitions, you want to come out of the group, we want to get to a final, to make progress, that's our goal, that's our ambition. We need to start today. There's nothing past today, win today and try and drive on from there.
Yeah, and a couple of new players introduced, a couple of more familiar names I suppose on the bench today, but they're on the panel. A chance maybe to get a run out and see some new girls in action for Tip.
Yeah, look, we won't have that many opportunities the way the year is, the split campaign. We have to find players again, and keep developing the panel, keep developing the standards, and keep raising the standards. So, you're right. We have caught them all on the bench today, but we've had some players come back now, like Cueva Mayer into midfield there today. Courtney Ryan is new up from the intermediates last year. They deserve their chance. They've earned it, so they get their spot today to go for it.
Absolutely. Best of luck, Bill.
Thanks very much.
Paul, Down Senior Camogie Manager, I suppose get your Division 1 league campaign off to a start here in the Ragg today. Great to be back in Division 1 first of all. I suppose Down have been down in Division 2 for a long time, so it's great to be back up in Division 1.
No doubt, we're up and we want to stay there. Certainly we've been training very, very hard over the last 5 weeks, like probably all teams within across the divisions, and from my perspective the attitude and application from the girls has been top class from getting right through until now, and we have to build on it. But there's no doubt it's a tough task. We're here to make a big statement. There are a number of players who aren't available to us. That goes without saying, but in my view it gives younger talented players going down a chance to step up, and we have every confidence they're going to do that.
Yeah, you look at the team list sheet there from Down today, a couple of big names, as you said, a couple of well-established players missing from it. But as you said, it gives other players the chance now to step into that leadership role and really take on the mantle of senior camogie in Division 1.
That's what it's all about. And for me, development has to be the focus of our attention over the next number of months, and I think years. There's certainly significant talent within Down, we've unearthed it. We just need to give them an opportunity to shine, and today is the first time to do that.
Absolutely, and look, Division 1 I suppose is where you want to be. You want to be challenging against the top teams in the country, and the league gives you a chance to do that. It's game on game, week on week against top opposition. Down here in Tipperary today, you have the All-Ireland champions Galway going up to you in a couple of weeks' time, so that's really where you want to be at.
Of course you do. If you want to be the best, you have to play against the best. So we have an opportunity today to go out against a very, very talented Tipperary team. We believe we worked very, very hard over the last 5 weeks, as I've said, but we know it's still about development and giving younger players, talented players going down the chance to shine, and we think today is going to be the first chance to do that. Yeah,
and exciting I suppose to see now today where all that training has left you. You can do it all on the training field, but I suppose until you get to a kind of a knockout game, you don't really know where you're at.
We don't know where we're at. We're really only in the job in the last sort of 5-6 weeks. We've got a great plan in place. The girls are really buying into it. Actually, the most important thing for me is the spirit within the camp. The spirit in the camp is fantastic. The energy is there, and all the talking's been done. I think the girls today have to go on and deliver, and I think that they will.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you, Paul.
Thank you very much.
And so Elaine has the company of both team managers ahead of the game here in the Ragg, namely Bill Mullaney of Tipperary and the Down team boss Paul Donnelly. Yes, we are here at the County Camogie grounds of Tipperary in the Ragg for the start of the Littlewoods Ireland Camogie League of 2022. Down, for their part, they travelled down last evening, overnighted in Portlaoise before they made the journey here to close to Thurles for the start of their league campaign. Tipperary are the home side and have been installed as favourites to collect the points and offer here in the Ragg. As we have an opportunity to look at the starting selections, and we begin with the travelling side Down. Cassie Fitzpatrick is their full-back wearing the number 3 jersey. Dervla McGee has been chosen at centre half back in a line that also includes Alana Savage and Derval Savage. At midfield, Aoife Keown and Clara Cowan have been named. There is a late change on the Down starting selection, we gather, in the attack. Nisha McCullough comes into the side wearing number 17. The full forward is Lauren Clark. So Elaine, what do you make of the downside this afternoon here at the Ragg?
Yeah, obviously a couple of big names missing from that Down all over the field, really. You know, a couple of retirements since last year and a couple unavailable. The likes of Paul O'Hagan are in the middle of the field. Sarah Louise and Finola Carr, like 2 huge losses. And obviously Niamh Mallon is on club duty at the moment with Tipperary, so she's missing from that attack up front. But as Paul said beforehand, you know, a chance now maybe for some of the younger players and to step up into that leadership role and take on the challenge there today and establish themselves into this team and I suppose drive Down Camogie forward.
How big a task is it for Down playing in Division 1?
It's a huge step up. I mean, I suppose they've had a taste of it given that they were in the senior championship last year, but you know, they've been in Division 2 of the league for a long time. It's taken them a while to get up. Had a resounding victory over Antrim, I suppose, a real challenge with Antrim last year to get up here, and I think they'll be anxious to stay here. The last time they did make it up to senior in Division 1, it was a fleeting trip up and they were back down, and I suppose from talking to Paul even beforehand, you know, if they want to improve and if they want to drive on the standard of Down Camogie, these are the games they need to be playing against and these are the teams they need to be challenging themselves against. So I think they see it as a huge opportunity. You know, there's some really, really competitive games on offer here in the league and they'll be hoping to get the most experience they can out of them.
As we have an opportunity now to switch our focus of attention to the home side, namely Tipperary, for whom Onya Slattery plays in goal. Sorika Ryan is a full back in a line that also has the giant captain of the side, Julianne Burke. Courtney Ryan holds down the commanding centre half back position. Cueva Maher and Grace O'Brien, the giant captain, are at halfway. The centre half forward on the tip team is Roisin Howard, and Claire Hogan has been named at full forward. Your take, Elaine, on the tip team?
Yeah, again, look, I think it's a panel of 20 or 22 that Bill has named today. A couple of injuries maybe kept out of that panel. Some of the drum and inch players not back in, having just finished club action last weekend, so they haven't rejoined that tip panel just yet. And I suppose the noticeable names missing from that starting 15 are Mary Ryan and Caught Devan, 2 stalwarts of Tip Camogie over the past decade or more. You know, Mary at full back and Caught Devan has been operating at full forward for the past number of years, so a chance again on the tip team, I suppose, for players like Sorika Ryan and Claire Hogan to get in there and to make a name for themselves and to hold on to that starting jersey. A couple of players moved up from the intermediate panel from last year, so look, Bill Mullaney and his management team looking to strengthen that their panel going forward and hope to build on the good work that they've been doing the last couple of years.
The match referee is from Cork this afternoon, a very experienced official. He's Andy Larkin. He'll be getting us underway here in the Ragg shortly in the Littlewoods Ireland Camogie League Division 1. And in this grouping, fairly good teams. We have Galway, of course.
Yeah, you know, Galway are reigning All-Ireland champions, I suppose. They're in this group and, you know, they'll be a formidable task for anyone. I think Tip Galway is the last game and it could be a real top of the table clash competition coming towards the end of the game. Obviously no semi-finals in the league this year, so it's a straight final with the top team in both groups going straight to that league final, so you know, no real room for error or slip up along the way. The team that wants to get to the league final is going to have to win every game en route.
So in Group 1, in Division 1, we do have Tipperary Down, along with Galway, Offaly and Dublin. And in Group 2, Kilkenny, the holders, Cork, Clare and Limerick. And as Elaine points out, it will be a direct league final in 2022. Conditions pretty poor here, unfortunately, for the match.
Yeah, look, I suppose it's league hurling and a little bit earlier of a start than we've maybe been used to the last couple of years, so you're to expect it, I suppose. But look, it's always blustery in the Ragg. It's a high ground here, so in fairness, they've done some great work on the pitch in the last year, and we didn't have a lot of the games here last year while the pitch was closed for those work. So you'd expect that if it stays dry overhead, that we might be lucky enough that the ground will hold up there and the surface will hold up. But it will be a tough encounter, good physical battle between two strong sides.
We're looking forward in a few moments to the start of the Littlewoods Ireland Camogie League Division 1 and the Group 1 tie involving Tipperary and Down. The throwing time here is fast approaching. Down will be hoping to spring a major surprise here at the Ragg this afternoon as they encounter Tipperary at the start of the Littlewoods Ireland Camogie League of 2022. Can you see Down winning this one, Elaine?
Look, it's a huge step up, and I suppose you're stepping up to Division 1 and you're stepping up to a team who have been there or thereabouts at the business end of the year in senior for the last number of years, but for a small turn of fate, Tip could be looking at contesting maybe a third league final in a row. The 2020 final they had qualified for, and it didn't get to be played then with all the cancellations. And then last year they were in a whisker of overturning Kilkenny in the semi-final in Nolan Park. So they could be looking at their third league final in a row. So they're very experienced. There might be down a couple of bigger names at the moment, but you'd still expect the experience that they have in the panel would be too much for Down today.
Tipperary team starts as named on the programme.
So as you can hear in the background, no change on the Tipperary team, as was announced earlier in the week by their manager Bill Mullaney. And for Down, they have one enforced change. Paul Donnelly has brought in Nisha McCullough in place of the unavailable Amy McAnelan, who was named as the captain of the side. A loss for Down, their centre half forward.
Absolutely, yeah, and she went through a fitness test there on her own earlier, just after they arrived here. A lonely looking figure out on the field, but I think maybe a hamstring injury which just held her up, and Paul obviously not wanting to risk her maybe this soon, so she will be a loss for Down. But look, as I said, it's up to some of the other girls then to step up and maybe stake a claim on that jersey and try and hang on to it.
In terms of the National League, in this grouping we do have Tipperary, Down, Galway, Offaly and Dublin right now in the Ragg. Our focus of attention is Tipperary against Down, the national anthem to be played. In the shorts, Bill Mullaney must be the warmest inter-county manager this weekend as we look forward to the Littlewoods Ireland Camogie League and plenty of entertainment here on the YouTube channel across the next few weekends. Who do you fancy in terms of the league itself of going closest or perhaps winning it, Elaine?
Yeah, it's interesting. I suppose we've a short run into the league this year and there's not a huge amount of time maybe for teams to get challenge games and stuff. The college activity is still fairly active, a lot of clubs still involved, so it's hard to see, and I feel maybe that the club or the county that gets the best run of things, and look, Cork have no club team involved. They have, I suppose, a few established players that are finished colleges, so they're not tied up with college activity. New trainer in there, new manager in there, Davy Fitz adding a bit of something to the backroom team. So, they came so close in the All-Ireland final last year that you'd imagine Cork probably have a little bit of a bite to them this year, and I'd expect to see them having a huge impact in the league.
Almost ready to go here at the Ragg, the very fine complex that is home to Tipperary Camogie and has been for the last few seasons. We're just a few miles here from Thurles and we're about to get underway now. The start of the Littlewoods Ireland Group 1 Division 1 tie. The match referee is from Cork, Andy Larkin, very experienced. At midfield for Tipperary we have Cueva Maher and Grace O'Brien, and for Down the pairing is added Aoife Keown and Clara Khan. Calling it so, Tipperary win. Elaine?
Yeah, you'd imagine so. Like I said, just that little bit of experience at this level and on home territory, you'd expect them just to have enough to see them through.
Very tricky conditions here as well in the Ragg this afternoon as we watch it from the stand side. The breeze is blowing left to right in towards the Thurles goal end, and so going into attack straight away now. Roisin Howard for Tipperary, lovely little ball to McCarthy. McCarthy has an option inside, goes a little bit too high for Claire Hogan. She does well. Here's the full forward, there is support here. Here's the opportunity, in she goes. Is it good enough? Just a little bit wide.
Just to the right and wide there, but super build-up play from Tipperary, I suppose, and just showing the experience they have of playing with one another, that little off-the-shoulder hand pass and put them on the attack straight away down the heart of the down defence.
The Tipperary full forward line will be hoping to gain some scores today, namely Clodagh McIntyre, Claire Hogan and Casey Hennessy. Referee has awarded the free. Andy Larkin of Cork. It's going to be for Down inside the opening stages of this match. Down's centre half back, Derval McGee, coming over to take this one, hoping to push it through towards her full forward line, cause trouble for the Tipperary inside back line. Here's the effort going low, dropping it down towards the corner. Down trying to keep it alive inside with the likes of Ciara Fitzsimons. Down are looking for an opportunity for the first score. The opportunity, Blanet Savage was involved there for Down. Still it's available for Down. Good little ball now, away towards the right. Down are looking for the first score of the afternoon here at the Ragg. Going the right way about it. Opportunity beckons. Here's an opportunity for the midfielder. Dropping it away. It wasn't that far away from being the first score of the afternoon.
No, and good build-up play from down there. They've been turned over a couple of times by Tipperary with a couple of little hooks, but never gave up the fight and got into that scoring position, and just unlucky that it did drift off to the left-hand side and wide.
Grace O'Brien is away following the intelligent goal delivery by Anya Slattery. The end result here is that Tipperary do have a free. Grace O'Brien, giant captain, along with Julianne Burke of the Tipperary side. O'Brien will be hoping to gain some distance in this effort. Fires it away towards the corner, over towards Clodagh McIntyre and co. Referee spotting another infringement. We've seen a few frees and we're still inside the opening 2.5 minutes of this match.
Yeah, I suppose look at the tough conditions out there. The ball is going to be slow to get up into the hand and it's going to be physical, I suppose, and both teams will be getting their first taste of real competitive action this year. So maybe just coming to terms with it is similar for the referee himself, you know, first probably inter-county game this year. So just takes a bit of time maybe to get into the flow of it for everyone. That's a fine delivery out the field of play by the down goalkeeper. Catherine McGourty brings play towards halfway. Tipperary have managed to keep this ball alive, and this looks encouraging as they've gained ground now. Have Tipperary gone inside the 45? This is absolutely brilliant. How about the finish? The shot is in, and we do have the first score of the day, and that's with Casey Hennessy. What a delightful run through, dissecting the down defence and finishing with a magnificent point. Yeah, super run from Casey, right from the half forward line straight down, as I said, down that right hand side of the defence. And I think maybe it did go over the bar, but she may just have looked at the top left hand corner for a second and thought that perhaps a goal was on.
The end result is that Tipperary do have the first score of the day, and that's through Casey Hennessy. Down trying to respond, and from midfield they've hit a decent ball inside towards the half forward line. Tipperary equal to the challenge. The release away towards Grace O'Brien. O'Brien pops this one through towards the attack, and full forward called into action. Claire Hogan. Hogan with an opportunity. Decent effort, but it hasn't resulted in a score.
No, did really well to win that ball out in front and turn nicely on it, and the shot was on, but unfortunately I think the win maybe just wasn't allowed for there and it drifted off to the right hand side. But super defending from Emer Lockman back in her own full back line to get out in front with that, and a lovely little pop pass out to Grace O'Brien to set Tip up on that last attack.
Catherine McGourty gets us back underway. The advantage remaining though with Tipperary as they lead by 1 point to no score and looking for another one. The advantage has been allowed. Here's the chance for Tipperary. Oh, great score.
Yeah, super take initially from Jenny Grace directly from that down puck out and laid off lovely and back out then in a super score, and Tip maybe just starting to find their range a little bit now.
So Tip have taken a firm grip on happenings here at the Ragg this afternoon as they lead by 2 points to no score. Karen Blair with that fine score. On we go with the action, and here's Quiva McCarthy. McCarthy has an option, and it's Hennessy looking for her second point. Plays it short, Downer in trouble here, and going through for the goal. Full forward, Claire Hogan.
Yeah, lovely lead up play again from Tipperary on that occasion, just repelling back that down puck out and going on the attack straight away. And you can see once the Tip forwards get that ball into their hand, they want to take on that defence, and Claire Hogan did really well to get low there, and once she had it in her hand she was always going to score from there.
Certainly, as we approach 6 minutes of the first half here at the Ragg, it's Tipperary leading by 5 points, a goal and 2. The scores arriving through Claire Hogan, Casey Hennessy and Karen Blair. They're looking for more, building it now from halfway, going the right way about, looking for an extra score. Roisin Howard is one of the players available inside. Still Tip have options. This one fired back, but it hasn't worked out, and down can bring play towards midfield. Quiva Maher onto it. Maher has additional support, and that's with Karen Blair. Tipperary trying to open up the down defence. Solid play at the back on the part of down, including Cassie Fitzpatrick and co in there. She's the full back now, under pressure. Tipperary coming through, and Quiva McCarthy. Here's an opportunity, and the nippy corner forward. Casey Hennessy has scored a goal. It's dropped into the net.
Oh, and just to be marking it down as a point, but Casey Hennessy has really started this game with aplomb in there. She's anxious to get on every ball and looks so dangerous when she does, and you know, herself and Claire Hogan inside in that full forward line looking exceptionally dangerous for Tipperary.
Sarah Delaney called into action. Fine, solid defender is the number 7 for Tipperary. Right now, midfielder Grace O'Brien leading by example with a splendid score.
Absolutely, and Grace had a super year out there in the middle of the field for Tipperary last year, and again, you know, well capable of popping up in the forward line, which she did on that occasion, and a super score for her just to kick Tip that bit further ahead.
Catherine McGourty resuming the action, brings it towards Aoife Keown. Support lends itself with Derval McGee. McGee has tossed this one through towards our full forward line. Down could do with a score as we play 8 minutes just to settle themselves into this Littlewoods Ireland League opener at the Ragg. Match referee Andy Larkin of Cork has decided he's going to throw this one in. Nisha McCullough was the player that went in for Down. Manages to break loose. The advantage momentarily was with Down. They're under pressure here in this opening round of the Littlewoods Ireland League at the Ragg. Referee spots an infringement and it's going to be a free for Tip.
Yeah, and Down, I suppose, have dropped Blonnet Savage back, number 10, back into that sweeper position. She's going to pick up now and let Derval McGee maybe just roam free there just to try and quell that Tip attack. But unfortunately, when you do that, I suppose you're robbing yourself of a forward. And for a set of 6 forwards who are struggling to score at the moment, it makes it a little bit more difficult when it's 5 on 6 up there.
The resulting free is for Tipperary deep inside their own half of the pitch. Sarika Ryan drops a good ball down towards the attack. Tipperary trying to seek it out with Roisin Howard, their centre half forward. There are a few other players in there as well looking for the prized possession. Tipperary do have it, and advancing through is Grace O'Brien. Didn't quite work out for O'Brien, but Tipperary do manage to hold on to possession on the attacking 45. Little tug of the jersey, it has been allowed. Midfielder O'Brien is available inside. She plays a short ball as Tipper going for another goal, upended. What brilliant defensive play by the Down full back line.
Yeah, last ditch defending there, and I think Tip will feel a little bit aggrieved maybe that they didn't get a free. There was a clear tug on the jersey of Clodagh McIntyre there as she tried to slip away. But again, Grace O'Brien moving forward from midfield, getting herself into those scoring positions, and a super hand when she does get the chance.
Aoife Keown might be able to get onto this one, and she does for Down as they bring it through towards our half forward line, who are finding it difficult to breach the Tipperary half back line. Tip managed to get it away. Nice little bit of fielding on the part of Down. The release inside by Clara Cowan as far as our full forward line. Here's an opportunity for Down for their first score, and that's delightfully clipped over the crossbar on the part of Ciara Fitzsimons.
Yeah, super score, and you just felt that that's the kind of play Down need to see some more of. As you said, superb fielding from Clara Cowan back at right half back here, the ball down the line, and a super score from Ciara Fitzsimons.
Anya Slattery of the Shannon Rovers Club gets us back underway as Tipperary have this healthy advantage, 2 goals and 3 to a point. Down beginning to settle. They overnighted in Portlaoise last night ahead of their visit to the Ragg, a historic visit as well for the team managed by Paul Donnelly. Down have quickly dispatched this one through towards their front line of attack. They do have 1 point on the score sheet. They'd love another one. This one has been knocked through by Isabel O'Hare. Tipperary trying to win it, and they do so at the back and away. Their full back line have been good. Julianne Burke, Sarika Ryan and Emer Lockman. Here's Caoimhe McCarthy away for Tipperary, gaining ground, and a good bit of ground at that. Low ball inside towards full forward territory. Down, delivering it outfield. Tip claiming it. Here's Grace O'Brien. Trying to be at the end of this one is Caoimhe McCarthy. McCarthy for Tipperary. There's no way through. Not fairly anyhow. The match referee Andy Larkin of Cork gives Tip the free.
Yeah, and again, just real clever use of the ball, I suppose, from Tip from the full back line, and contrast that to the clearance maybe of Katrina Caldwell there for Down. It was a case of just clearing the ball maybe wherever, and it was Grace O'Brien who was on the end of it, and she was able to set Tip up on that attack again, and it looks like it's going to be Grace O'Brien herself, I suppose, in the absence of Clodagh Van today, who will be taking the scoreable frees.
Nothing quite straightforward here in these testing conditions at the Ragg this afternoon. Still, Grace will fancy her chances here of collecting her 2nd point of the afternoon. Grace O'Brien directing it in towards the goal. Wasn't easy in these conditions, but she's done well.
No, I suppose when you're taking over from a free taker of the calibre of Clodagh Van, you'd like to get the handiest one you could starting off maybe, and that certainly wasn't that for Grace, but did really well with it. And puck out now from Down again, just unfortunate for them. The short one over the line, and a chance for Tip to build something up front again.
A very strong Tipperary management team headed up by Bill Mullaney, also including Carmel Bradshaw, Mary Howard, Dinny Ferncombe and Dennis Kelly. We're back underway in these tricky weather conditions at the Ragg. Down have managed to get it away and they've done reasonably well. Here's Ciara Cowan. Ciara Cowan looking for support inside. Tip coming out with Sarah Delaney. Delaney brings play towards midfield. An option behind is Courtney Ryan. Ryan launches it through towards the attack and it could go the way of Claire Hogan. Hogan has support inside. Tipperary have options. Clodagh McIntyre is one of those. Tip now finding they're advancing Roisin Howard. Tip looking for a score. There was a late boot. The referee has seen it and there's going to be a free, and this free is for down.
Yeah, and again, just that build-up play from Tipperary. You know, you'd know that they're a team well used to playing with one another, the off-the-shoulder running and they're looking up for the clever pass. They're just stringing those couple of passes together, and when they do, they're able to open up that down defence, even though they have shored up and they have started to find their feet a little bit at this level, but it is mostly defending they're doing, unfortunately, from a down point of view at the minute.
Down find themselves 9 points adrift here at the Ragg. About to get us back underway. The goalkeeper, Catherine McGourty, brings play towards halfway. Tips solid half back is Sarah Delaney. Just runs away from her on this occasion as Down are looking for something, and it's Ciara Fitzsimons. She's the only player to have scored thus far as we approach the midway mark of the opening half. Far down. Tipperary have it, and Julianne Burke. Burke has taken too much out of it. It's going to be a free for Down, perhaps outside the scoring range though.
Yeah, into that breeze it does look. It's probably on the 45, but good pressure from down there to force the turnover, force the overcarry, and you know, as I said, they're just starting to find their feet a little bit now at this level, and they've shored up a little bit at the back, and that will allow them build through the middle. But you know, they need to take whatever scoring chance they have and try and stay in touch with Tip.
This is a demanding free for Down. Aoife Clone will be looking for something here on this occasion, driving it towards the goal. That is a remarkable score.
Yeah, super score for Aoife, and at a time, as we said, that Down really needed a score, and you know, not easy free-taking conditions out there today. There's a strong swirling breeze. I'm not sure if it actually helps anyone in those conditions, but super strike from her, and you know, as I said, it just keeps Down in this game.
It's released forward from the stick of Grace O'Brien. Down are looking to be to it first on that occasion with Claire McGilligan. Linesperson has flagged it. It's going to be a line ball for Down. Just tipping our way into the second quarter here, and it's Tipperary leading Down 2 goals and 4 to 2 points at the start of the Littlewoods Ireland League campaign of 2022. Dervla McGee, the centre half back, cuts this one forward. Tipperary have managed to pinch it and released inside. A very good ball, well inside the attacking 45. Tipperary looking to build on their commanding advantage with Clodagh McIntyre. Here's the chance for Casey Hennessy, testing the goalkeeper. She's done well in these testing conditions, has Catherine McGourty, as she manages to release it away towards her centre half back, Dervla McGee. McGee for Down. There is support here, and it's with Dervla Savage. Down attempted to bring it to halfway. Tip intercept, and it's Karen Blair that has released it through. Tip looking for a way through. There are options inside, and plenty of them as well, but the Down defence are beginning to settle here at the Ragg. Back though, it's Tipperary, and picking off a good score, Caoimhe McCarthy.
Yeah, did really well Down. Look to have managed that one, and as I said, look, with Blonnet Savage back there as the spare player, they have shored up the middle of that defence, but still, when the opportunity presents itself to Caoimhe McCarthy, a super strike and a super point for her.
It brings Tipperary on to 2 goals and 5, and Down are on 2 points courtesy of their scores through Aoife Clone and Ciara Fitzsimons. Tipperary going in search of further scores. Coming through, it's Roisin Howard. What about the finish? Oh, mighty! Perhaps the pick of the 3 goals that we've had here in the Ragg this afternoon, as it brings Tipperary on to 3 goals and 5.
Yeah, one straight off the training ground, I'd say, from a Tipperary point of view, through the hands straight away. You know, Casey Hennessy's been causing problems all day today. Roisin Howard through the centre, and then Jenny Grace coming off the shoulder, and the strike made no no mistake about it, and gave no chance to Catherine McGorty in the down goal. And that's what Tip, I suppose, are capable of, and that's what they'll be looking to build on.
It pushes them into a very big advantage here over Down at the start of the Littlewoods Ireland 2022 league campaign. Down sideline strike. Derval Savage gets us back underway, but it's been all Tipperary now. This one popped through again towards full forward. Claire Hogan. Hogan to Caoimhe McCarthy. McCarthy's at the end of this one. Little bit of ball juggling, just ran away from her. She might be able to win it back as she does against the odds. Here's McCarthy. Still Caoimhe McCarthy. Has she run out of space? She has.
Yeah, good defending from Down on that occasion. Lovely ball through and just didn't come up first time, I suppose, for Caoimhe McCarthy, but worked hard to try and create the opportunity. But as I said, super defending from Down that allowed them to just see that one out over the line for a wide.
Down are moving into the counter-attack and going okay. The advantage rule was applied. It didn't actually work out for them on that occasion, but still good refereeing by Andy Larkin. Down claiming possession. Here's Ciara Cowan. Cowan has managed to pop it inside the attacking 45. Whole host of players looking for it here. Almost 19 minutes played of the first half. It's Tipperary and Sarah Delaney that was the player to emerge with it on that occasion. Now play comes towards halfway. The advantage is for Tip. That's Roisin Howard that did well. Tipperary in control of the happenings at the Ragg. Caoimhe Maher has released it. The advantage is with Tipperary. And into the path of Caoimhe McCarthy, an exciting prospect. Here's McCarthy onto her right side, trying to squeeze it home. It's just gone a little bit outside its intended target.
Yeah, but again, really good use of the ball from Tipperary, I suppose, hand to hand to work it into a scoring position. And I suppose just with the breeze that's blown in the Ragg here today, it's hard to establish maybe what exactly is a scoring position in there. But Caoimhe McCarthy is starting really, really well, and has a point to her name and is getting a couple of shots off as well. So really putting her hand up there for Bill Mullaney's side.
There's an injury on the Down side. Down were forced to line out without Amy McEleenan, the captain of the side from Leitrim Fontenay. She was ruled out through injury, and her place was taken at the start by Nisha McCullough. And now there's another injury concern for manager Paul Donnelly and his fellow selectors, namely Sarah Louise Graffin and Mickey Glover. As we play 20 minutes or thereabouts of the first half, it's Tipperary 3-5, down 2 points.
Yeah, this is turning into nearly an unofficial water break in the absence of water breaks this weekend. Just a little break and play on the 20th minute and a couple of bottles of water getting in all over the pitch just to revitalise some of the players. But conditions out there, I'm not sure if it's even coming across on camera, but it's a rough day for playing camogie in the Ragg. It's windy and there's a bit of rain blowing on the wind there as well. So superbly tough conditions for both sets of players out there. But Tip just seem to have adapted to it that little bit better at the moment.
Good news for Down is that Katrina Caldwell is okay to resume her place in the number 2 berth for Down. Catherine McGorty. Good belt of the ball, brings play towards halfway. Plenty of bodies looking for it. Linesperson has spotted an infringement. That's namely an injury to the Tipperary player, unfortunately, here, and with the conditions that's quite likely to happen here, unfortunately, in the Ragg this afternoon. In this, the 22nd minute, Tip 3-5, down 2 points.
Yeah, I think Corrine Blair maybe just coming for that puck out, and Derval McGee coming the opposite direction. I think both players collided, and McGee is up to her left, feeling her side as well, but Corrine Blair, I think it is down on the ground over there as well, obviously feeling her side as well. So both players maybe just in need of a little bit of attention, but certainly it was a case of all eyes on the ball and there was nothing untoward on it. But credit to the linesperson Liz Dempsey on the far side there, spotted it straight away and called the referee's attention to it, and play is stopped.
The Tipperary half-back line has been very good so far, namely Blair, Courtney Ryan and Sarah Delaney. There have been plenty of stars on the Tipperary side thus far in the Littlewoods Ireland opening round league match here at the Ragg. It's a league campaign this year that has been condensed with just a straight final, Elaine. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I suppose, look, it's difficult for teams that are trying to make a breakthrough. Look, you'd imagine that in a group, you know, that the top two teams, so if you're looking at this group, you're probably looking at Tip and Galway maybe getting a group clash, and you know, it's a pity that they don't get a semi-final in it, maybe to test themselves out against the team on the opposite side. But I suppose that's what you're facing when you're looking at the condensed fixtures, the condensed calendar to try and get everything played. It is a straight final, and look, even this weekend you've got the league starting off, you've got the Ashburn Cup concluding during the week, you've got the minor championship starting tomorrow, there's Leinster club final on in the intermediate level in Leinster this weekend, so it's a busy time, so you can see the need to go into a straight final. But I think for the players it's a pity that they don't get a chance to get maybe a semi-final, and you know that you would have the chance maybe to pick up a couple of points or to try a few things out in the league without having to necessarily win every game to try and guarantee yourself a shot at the league final.
In terms of the league, Tipperary, I understand, have only actually won it twice, would you believe? In 1977, when Monica Butler captained the team, and their last one was in 2004. Joanne Ryan was the successful captain. Back here at the Ragg, the home ground of Tipperary Camogie, they've just conceded, or won a free rather, and an opportunity for Tipperary to launch it from just inside their own half of the pitch, down on top of players like Caoimhe McCarthy, Clodagh McIntyre, Claire Hogan, Ginny Grace and Casey Hennessy. And that's the way it's going to go as well. Corinne Blair getting us back underway, dropping it down towards the right full forward slot. Tipperary have done well with Ginny Grace and co. Nice little ball. Tipperary have seemed to have an extra player even at times, as this one has been fired in towards the goal. Great. Tremendous.
Unbelievable from Clodagh McIntyre, and everything about that play, you know, from the initial pick-up from Jenny Grace, flicked it back out, the ball down the line then to Clodagh McIntyre, and I suppose the confidence and the composure to shoot that one in a super point from the sideline. It just shows the confidence of that typical forward line at the moment.
Clodagh McIntyre, Claire Hogan and Casey Hennessy delivering the goods. Here's Caoimhe McCarthy. McCarthy has support, and it's Casey Hennessy looking for more. Oh, the goalkeeper producing a tremendous save, Catherine McGourty.
Super save from her, and has certainly kept down in it with that one, you know. Casey Hennessy looked to be straight through the centre there, and even had the time to pick her spot. I think went for placing it rather than pure power, and credit to Catherine McGourty, as you said, got across the goal and got her hurled to it.
Grace O'Brien is a player trying to bring it out from that huddle. It's still alive anyhow for Tipperary. The player that was fouled, Julianne Burke, as she was attempting to gain some ground. It hasn't worked out. It's going to be a free, and this free around midfield for Tipperary, who have this decent lead here, and a very decent one as well. Tipperary 3 goals and 6, down 2 points.
Yeah,
and there's the closing 5 minutes.
That save again from Catherine McGourtney, and how busy has Casey Hennessy been today? You know, every time she gets on the ball, there's a little air of excitement, I think, around the stand here in Thurles. She's got speed to burn in there, and she's certainly getting to stretch her legs in the Ragg here today, and has won one to her name, but has certainly been involved in a lot more.
It's Grace O'Brien that smacks this one down towards her front line of attack. Tipperary holding all the aces here in the Ragg at the start of the Littlewoods Ireland League campaign of 2022. Referee has awarded the free for Tipperary in a much closer scoring position. Andy Larkin of Cork, the official in charge of this match. The breeze picking up.
Yeah, had been playing advantage down in the corner there for a foul on Claire Hogan, and when it didn't develop, then just called the free back, and a chance again for Grace O'Brien, but probably even more difficult than her initial free.
Bill Mullaney is very much involved in the thick of the action as well, the team manager. All eyes right now are focused on the resulting free for Tipperary. Midfielder having the opportunity, hasn't managed to find its intended target, has Grace O'Brien on this occasion. Catherine McGourty gets us back underway with a good belt of the ball again, down to the halfway area. Tipperary send it through. The only person that's home though is Cassie Fitzpatrick. She's the down full back. Cassie Fitzpatrick has done well, trying to ease the pressure on a down team that have been under immense pressure with Derval Savage and co. Savage brings play towards halfway. In there as well for down, looking for it, Blanet Savage. It will eventually come loose, but only after the referee will throw it in. Andy Larkin, wise call by the Cork official. Liz Dempsey, the linesperson on duty, the far sideline as well. In she goes, Tipperary taking it with Roisin Howard initially. Also there as well is Sarah Delaney. Linesperson has given the line ball and it's going to go the way of Tipperary. Sarah Delaney takes the resulting sideline strike, and the advantage remaining very much with the Premier County, who will be hoping to go well in terms of the league and the championship in 2022, having gone so far in the league last year. Anyhow, it's Tipperary's advantage. Here's an opportunity, and the scores are really flowing nicely here for Tip this afternoon.
Yeah, Clodagh McIntyre again there at right corner forward, just causing trouble in there all day for that down defence, and superb takedown from her straight into the hand, and looked to slip around the down full back line, didn't get it, and roll back on a super point and super score for her, and just kicks Tip on a little bit now just before half time.
Clodagh will be very happy with the way that she has impressed the crowd in the Ragg this afternoon. Tipperary players back covering as well, Caoimhe McCarthy amongst them. Down have struggled for scores here in their first match in Division 1. Conditions are against them, but they're also against Tipperary here this afternoon also. Not for the first time in this first half. Andy Larkin is going to restart with a throw-in. In for Tipperary there is defender Sarah Delaney. Stays with Tipperary, helped by Caoimhe McCarthy. This will be tricky to keep alive, but it has been kept alive by Tipperary. Fired back and now fired in towards the goal by Roisin Howard, and that is perhaps the pick of the scores in the first half.
Absolutely, and it's what Tip have been so good at today, you know, finding the player in the better position, using that short pass, and when they do, that player is so well able to field the ball and then to take her score, and a super score from distance from Roisin Howard there.
Who plays with care. Tipperary have possession. Halfway between the attacking 45 and 65, Casey Hennessy. Alana Savage putting in a good shift as well and has possession for down at midfield. Down have pushed it forward and all the way as far as their front line of attack. The defender that's on duty, Emer Lockman. Emer Lockman wearing the number 4 jersey for Tipperary. Tipper under pressure on this occasion as we play down the closing stages of the first half in Division 1 of this Group 1 league opener at the Ragg. Andy Larkin giving the free in favour of the emerging sides.
Yeah, and again it was Grace O'Brien, you know, she covers every inch of grass then when she's around the middle of the field, but back there with her own full back line, picking up the breaks there and, you know, travelling out, winning that free and just relieving the pressure for Tipperary.
From deep inside their own defence, it's Tipperary to restart with the resulting free. That's a fine drive. Up towards Roisin Howard. Howard looking for the return pass. Caoimhe McCarthy and others are there. Here's Roisin Howard. Howard as far as Clodagh McIntyre. There's no way through here for Tipperary. Play has been allowed to continue. The injured player is quickly back on her feet, thankfully. Tip have possession and they do so through Sarah Delaney. Delaney is whipped it through towards her front line of attack. Ball falls away towards Blanet Savage, who's playing very, very deep once again. Tip keeping it alive. Here's an opportunity for a score before the end of the first half, and Tip are playing delightful stuff here at the Ragg this afternoon. The scores are arriving very, very freely for them.
Yeah, and look, it was Grace O'Brien again popped up. We saw her a few minutes ago back on her own 21 collecting the ball from her defenders, and she was at the end of that pass as well, and from Clodagh McIntyre to finish that one over the bar. And all six of Tip's forwards have scored now, with Grace O'Brien chipping in with 3 points from the middle of the field. So really dominant performance from the Tip forwards today, and just their use of the ball and their clever play has been really, really good. I think it'll really please Bill Mullaney and his management team for this first half.
So Grace O'Brien, Caoimhe McCarthy, Roisin Howard, Ginny Grace, Casey Hennessy, Claire Hogan, Clodagh McIntyre have all scored, but so too Corrine Blair. Down with a free from halfway, pushing this one through towards their full forward line. Looking for something here before the end of the first half for Down, just to give them a little bit of hope going into the second half and some confidence as well for the entire league campaign. Right now it's Cowan going forward. This one is short and it's taken by Anya Slattery, which is the final piece of action in the opening half, of which has been dominated by Tipperary, who bring with them a commanding interval advantage of Tipperary 3-9, down 2 points.
Yeah, and look, even Anya Slattery there with that last ball, dropped lovely into her hand, but it was no sooner into her hand than she was looking where to place, and I think that's really where Tip have dominated today. When they've been in possession, they've made absolute superb use of the ball. The ball is always going to the player in the better position, and some of the build up to their scores have been superb. Quick balls through the hands to the players in the better positions, and players running off the shoulders, and it's something that Down probably just haven't got into the groove of just yet, and that is the step up, I suppose, from Division 2 to Division 1, and they're really learning the harsh lessons of that here today.
So we are at half time at the Ragg near Thurles in County Tipperary, where Tipperary have built up a big head of steam in the first half of the first match of the Littlewoods Ireland Division 1 League and have this huge half-time lead. We'll be back for second half coverage. Right now it's Tipperary 3 goals and 9, down 2 points. Downer first to take to the field for the second half of this Division 1 encounter. And now Tipperary are emerging for the second half, likely to have a sub or two. Perhaps we're hearing Gemma Fox appears to be going onto the field of play for Tipperary in this second half. As we look forward to the second half, it's Tipperary 3-9, down 2 points.
Replaces number 10, Creed McCarthy. Number 21, Gemma Fox, replaces number 5, Creed Blair. And number 19, Kieran Maher, replaces number 12, Jenny Grace.
3 players introduced so at half time for Tipperary for the second half. Namely, we have Kieran Maher in, Gemma Fox is in, as is Ciara Brennan for this second half. It's most unlikely that Tipperary will lose this game here at the Ragg this afternoon, Elaine.
Yeah, look, Bill, I suppose getting a chance to run the bench there. They don't have a huge amount of players tugged out. I think it's 20 they have to choose from. So 3 of those subs obviously gone on straight away. But a chance maybe, you know, the likes of Caoimhe McCarthy and Jenny Grace, Kareem Blair, all impressed there in that first opening 30 minutes. So a chance now for 3 other players to get their chance in the second half.
In terms of this league campaign as well, Tipperary, well, they have a few difficult games ahead of them in this league campaign, because it's likely that they have matters wrapped up already here. Their next game will be away to Offaly, but then the match against Dublin, which is at home, and the concluding game against Galway, that should be a humdinger of a match later on in the season, as we focus on the opening round here this afternoon in the Ragg, where Tipperary have this lead early in the second half of 3-9 to 2 points for Down. Few players trying to dig it out. It's the advantage with Down at this point, and they've earned the free as well from the Cork whistler Andy Larkin.
Yeah, a little bit of a high hurl in there from Tipperary, I suppose, and just a chance for Down maybe to settle into the second half. And look, from a Down point of view, I suppose it's about getting a performance now. They won't be happy with that first half performance. They really played second fiddle to Tip for most of it. So look, they'll look to maybe to settle into it and try and learn a few lessons maybe, and impose themselves a little bit on this second half and give them something to build on now going into the following rounds of the league.
Derval McGee is the player that has launched it forward for Down and inviting one for her attack. Down have also introduced in that first half Amy Rose Gilmore. Now towards halfway. Not so sure who's looking for it. Down are the team that have it, and the free as well. Player fouled Lauren Clark from the Unreact Club. Free for Down. They'll be looking to build on this experience here in the Ragg this afternoon. Derval McGee. McGee has launched it through towards her full forward line, looking to gain something of a stranglehold on the happenings in the second half for Down, but it's not going to be easy to do so against a very determined Tipperary team and in these rather nasty conditions at the Ragg. We're still waiting for the slitters to emerge here, and will eventually do so. Lauren Clark is the full forward that's looking for it. Clark has left it behind. The referee gives the free, and this is going to be for Tipperary with 3 minutes on the clock in the second half.
Yeah, and just resolute defending there from Tip, I suppose, at the back, you know, just not allowing Down to create anything, just being in their faces and not letting them even get that ball into their hand, and then working it out and eventually drawing the free over there. You know, from a Down point of view, I suppose they'd like to see Lauren Clark maybe a little bit closer to the goal. She's a prolific scorer up front for them, but at the moment just being asked, I suppose, to drop out the field a little bit just to try and get a foothold in the game somewhere far down.
Ciara Brennan looking to get involved in the action in the early part of this second half. One of the 3 substitutes introduced by Tip boss Bill Mullaney at half time. The advantage is for Tipperary, and they've smacked this one into the attack as well. Fired across towards the attacking 45. Tipperary trying to keep the ball alive as it was at half time. 3-9 to 2 points. Down emerging with the slither through their midfielder. Aoife Keown has that additional support behind. That's a fine release by Derval Savage. Tipperary managing to emerge with us, and it may fall the way, and it does, of Grace O'Brien, who chipped in with 3 points in the first half. Ciara Maher has knocked it through. Scores are going to be difficult to come by in this second half, it would appear. Tipperary have the advantage, and it's Roisin Howard. Howard fires it low, but there's nobody at home inside there, only the down goalkeeper, Catherine McGourty. McGourty for down. Good ball. Here's Ciara Cowan. Cowan has earned the free. That was a fairly obvious push.
Yeah, super play again from Catherine McGourty, though. Confidence, you know, you can tell that she's played outfield for a number of years. She was confident enough to take that ball out and carry it out and make sure that a clearance was going to go to hand. And when it did, credit to Clara Cowan, took it really, really well, drew the foul, and a free now again for Dervla McGee.
Centre half back for down, relaunches the slitter into the action. Tipperary have possession. It's with Caoimhe Maher, the midfielder. Her colleague is Grace O'Brien at halfway, has done well. Here's Caoimhe Maher once again. Tipperary bringing play towards halfway and moving beyond it. Sarah Delaney. Here's Delaney really opening up the down defence. Popping it inside to the full forward Hogan, Claire Hogan, and there is support. This one has been, with a little bit of hesitancy, it has been waved good.
Yeah, there was just a second there, I think, when the umpire stumbled coming forward for the flag, but a super run from Delaney all the way from her own defence, and, you know, just tried to finish it off herself off the hurl maybe, but the ball held up in that wind there, and Claire Hogan did really, really well to get on the end of it and a score for Tipperary.
Claire Hogan has now chipped in with a goal and a point this afternoon here at the Ragg in the opening afternoon of the Littlewoods Ireland Division 1 League campaign of 2022. It's down in possession, if only just, well, they've been robbed of it. And Tipperary, from the heart of their own defence, are trying to get it away. Not so easy to do so with Aoife Keown and co alongside. The resulting free is going the way of down. Seven minutes into the second half, down have popped this one through towards their full forward area. What a goal would do for them to boost their confidence, but nothing coming of it on this occasion.
Yeah, really well read there by Courtney Ryan and intercepted that pass superbly, and I suppose it's the first real string of passes maybe we've seen down string together that maybe could result in a score, but superbly read at the back there, and, you know, really good use of the ball that set Tip up on the attack again.
Here's the opportunity, and the canary yellow helmet doing the business on this occasion.
Yeah, I think Ciara Brennan eventually got on the end of it, but, you know, that came from a score created from the Tip full back line. That pass intercepted by Courtney Ryan and played up through the hands, through the field. Superb use of the ball again from Tipperary, and, you know, the cherry on top then is the score at the other end.
Brennan, the half-time replacement, so has a score to her credit. Here's another one of the half-time substitutes, Ciara Maher. Full forward looking to be underneath it, Claire Hogan. Downer also trying to be there as well. Competitive battle for possession. It's available for Down at the end of the day, and away it goes towards Blanet Savage. Savage brings play towards halfway, and Down are pushing forward on this occasion with Nisha McCullough. But again, Tipperary are equal to it at the back, and Emer Lockman is having a very fine match in the number 4 jersey. Her ball popped out towards halfway. Referee Andy Larkin indicating why the free is to be awarded in favour of Down. Looking for their first score of the second half. Here's Grace O'Brien. Now it's advantage for Down in their centre half back, Dervla McGee. Referee has whistled back play and is giving the free in favour of Down.
Yeah, just the free, I think, on Dervla McGee as she broke out past there. The advantage was, the hand was up for advantage, but it just didn't accrue, so call back for the free and a chance for Dervla. And, you know, that's more what Down need to get. They need to get Dervla McGee probably on more ball, driving forward like that, and trying to pick out passes inside that full forward line.
Dervla McGee with the resulting free for Down, launching it through. A good little ball as well towards her full forward line. Tipperary have possession once again, and that's been a feature of the Tipperary defence. Julianne Burke, Sarah Ryan, Emer Lockman so solid in the full back area. Corinne Blair, Courtney Ryan, Sarah Delaney in the half back sector. And that's very much so that Tipperary have this big lead, helped them into this lead of Tipperary 3-11, down 2 points with almost 10 minutes played of the second half.
Yeah, and just an injury, I think, there to, is it Dervin McGee maybe is down just after that bit of play, and Andy Larkin has called the play back just to get a bit of attention in onto the pitch to her. But again, Tip, so resolute at the back, I suppose, really good defending, and 2 cornerbacks out in front defending the ball, and it's not aimless clearances. I suppose they're working really well, working the ball out of defence. Grace O'Brien around the middle of the field is at the end of everything, collecting those pop passes, and the runs are being made inside then, so options for Tip all over the field when they're looking to create something. And I suppose how quickly they've turned defence into attack on numerous occasions is a sign of just a team, I suppose, that have been together for a long time. They've been playing together, they're used to one another's style of play, and they really are just showing that little bit of class here today.
The bulk of the scoring this afternoon here, the Ragg arriving for Tipperary in the first half, in which Grace O'Brien from midfield hit 3 lovely scores. Caoimhe McCarthy, Roisin Howard also at a point each. Ginny Grace with her goal. The full forward line has chipped in handsomely. Casey Hennessy with a goal and 1. Claire Hogan a goal, and Clodagh McIntyre with 2. Claire Hogan, the full forward, has since added an extra point to her personal tally, and also with a score since her introduction at halfway, Ciara Brennan for Tipperary.
Yeah, and I suppose it's just that spread of scorers, that Tip are well able to play the ball around up front there, find the player in the better position, and whoever that player is well able to take their score, and they've been ruthless as well when they've got the opportunity. They've gone down the hearts, down defence, and they've gone for a goal, and they've put this game beyond down with that, really super movement inside from the likes of Casey Hennessy and Clodagh McIntyre, 2 real speedsters inside in the corners, and when they're running out of space in there, they're recycling the ball. And I suppose just Tip's use of the ball and their clever use of it and being able to find one another is really what sets them apart from down here today. Down, I suppose, from their point of view, just haven't really been able to get a foothold in the game, and that's testament, I suppose, to the work that Tip are doing all over the field, the harassing they're doing, the chasing back and the hooking and blocking, and it's a heavy lesson, I suppose, for Down to learn here today. But look, if they could get a performance for the last 20 minutes, just to give them something to build on. They don't have an easy journey in this league. I think they're at home maybe to Galway in the next game, so another huge game for them to prepare for now for the next 2 weeks.
Derval McGee is the injured party, but hopefully she will be okay to resume her place here at the Ragg this afternoon. As Elaine pointing out, difficult campaign here for Down. Their next match will be in a few weeks' time. That is at home to Galway. Thereafter they travel to play Offaly, and will round up their league outings for the season against Dublin at home. We're about to get back underway, and the sliotar is to be thrown in. Down have taken it, and it's Ciara Cowan. Ciara Cowan looking for a way out. There wouldn't appear to be one, not initially anyhow, but Down have recovered, and they have the ball suddenly up towards halfway. Centre halfback for Tip is Courtney Ryan. It's available for Tipperary. Thankfully the rain has eased off considerably here at the Ragg as Tipperary fire this one through towards their attack. Oh, what stick work! Great wizardry. It's still kept in play, and that was Clodagh McIntyre that was involved for quite an amount of time. Anyhow, into the attack go Tipperary. Still Down are resolute at the back as they fire down towards Ciara Fitzsimons. Lauren Clark, the full forward. Here's Derval McGee. Derval McGee away for Down, the centre half back. The partial block down is effective for Tipperary initially. Tipperary emerging with it. And this one is being played into the path of the midfielder Grace O'Brien. Hasn't worked out. Down have possession back, and the full forward unleashing it into her attack, Lauren Clark. But Tipperary are very much equal to anything that has been thrown at them in terms of that defence. Unfortunate, a collision involving 2 players here will result in a break in play.
Yeah, and it's Derval McGee, and it looks like, is it Sarah Ryan maybe from a Tip point of view that's down, and just a pure, again, eyes on the ball, both players going for it, but did go head on into the challenge. And credit to Derval McGee, she's been released from centre back and she's moved up the field, and she's trying to carry the game to Tipperary. She's gone on a couple of long runs there. She's been in the wars herself, but a player, I suppose, who would have been better known at full back last year and moved out to centre back now to replace the evergreen Finola Carr, who has gone from that centre back position. So you can see what Derval brings to the Down team when she gets out around the middle of the field and gets to move forward. She's a superb ball carrier. carrier and gets a lot of forward ball, but unfortunately for Down, it's just not enough today, and the Tip full backline, as you rightly said, have been outstanding in there. Julianne Burke and Sorcha Ryan and Emer Lockman have dealt capably with anything that has come their way.
The mention of Galway, the All-Ireland champions, their match with Offaly this weekend is not going ahead. In terms of the league itself, the other grouping involving Kilkenny, Cork, Clare and Limerick. Kilkenny, winners of the league on 15 occasions. They are entering this season's Littlewoods Ireland competition as defending title holders as well. But in the roll of honour, it's Cork that lead the way on 16 as Tipperary use this break and play to make a substitution. And certainly any players that they are withdrawing have played a part in the happenings.
Absolutely, and look, if you're a Down player who's after muddling around for 47 minutes out there, I think, on these heavy conditions, and you see a player of Cotavan's stature coming in to take the place of Casey Hennessy, your day is not going to get any easier.
Cotavan, well, she has played many a good match for Tipperary over the years. One other match being played this afternoon as well, that involving Kilkenny and Limerick.
Yeah, and Kilkenny actually currently lead that one 114 to 1-8 with 18 minutes gone in the second half in that Division 1 Group 2 game in Callan.
Dervla McGee, here's the free for Down. Push forward towards the attack, but once again, it's Emer Lockman that's equal to it, and having a very fine match. Anyhow, Tipperary are moving this one swiftly through towards their attack. They have players going through, including Keirdre Maher. May go the way of Roisin Howard. She's the centre half forward. Plenty of substitutions made by Tipperary in this second half here at the Ragg this afternoon, because in fairness they have been in control for most of the journey. Down looking for the ball, and Blanet Savage. Tipperary have it right now, and here's Ciara Brennan. Oh, the free this time going in favour of Down, overcarrying it would appear.
Yeah, credit to the Down defence there. They stuck with Ciara Brennan, chased her the whole way back and forced the overcarry, but they're under serious pressure, I suppose, coming out from their own half back line, and that last build up from Tipperary was just, I suppose, a sign of what Tipper are so good at today, working it out from the back, player to player. Lovely ball down to Cotavan, who played a lovely ball in to Clodagh McIntyre. Was unlucky not to control it, but that's the kind of play that Bill Mullaney has been developing with Tip over the past couple of years, and it's really starting to pay benefit here today.
Julianne Burke, one of the players that has helped this slither arrive in towards the Tipperary attack. Ciara Brennan, she's managed to pop it through towards the 45. Down have it. In terms of the time, we're playing almost 18 minutes of actual time in the second half, but we've had a stoppage or two as Tipperary go on the counter-attack. Hasn't worked out for them. It will this time though, because they have plenty of players available on the overlap. It's not easy to win it in there, and Andy Larkin knows that only too well. He's going to throw it in here. Whole host of players looking for it. Ball falls in towards the Tipperary attack for a moment or two. It's anybody's ball right now. However, it's Down that managed to get it away, and if they do so, it's Ciara Khan that's onto it. Clara Khan brings it forward. Centre half back is Dervla McGee. McGee all the way through towards her full forward line. Down are looking for something. Oh, just taken away by Courtney Ryan and co. Referee now does give the free, and it's for Down.
Yeah, and Anya Slasher will be disappointed there. It's a tough day to stand on the goal, I suppose, and she hasn't been called into action on a lot of occasions, but just on that one, just failed to get the control the first time, I suppose, and allowed the opportunity for Down. Now, credit to her full back line, they got back, they covered, but they did concede the free and a score and chance now for Down up front. But just worryingly, I suppose, from a Tip point of view, Grace O'Brien just went down injured at the end of that last passage of play down on our right hand side there, and just getting a little bit of physio attention. And as I said, she's been a real standout player for Tipperary, not just today but all through last year's league and championship, but is a little bit of a concern for Tipperary, I suppose.
Tipperary have giant captains this season, namely Julianne Burke of Borrisoleigh, wearing the number 2 jersey, and wearing 9 today for Tip, Grace O'Brien. Both players have played exceptionally well here in the Ragg.
Yeah, Grace just down still receiving a little bit of attention, and I suppose from a tip point of view now they had 3 substitutions at half time, and they've introduced Cotavan, so I'm not sure how many more extra they have togged out today, but they will need to get a sub on now, because it doesn't look like Grace O'Brien is going to continue, and it does look like the physio is calling maybe for a substitute for her.
Brendan Ryan is the physio for Tipperary this afternoon. Strength and conditioning being handled by Diarmuid Leahy and Alan O'Connor. Others involved too: Maggie O'Grady, Oran Flyte on stats, Bobby Carrigan, logistics, Gráinne O'Leary. And the management team is that of Bill Mullaney, Carmel Bradshaw, Mary Howard, Dinny Ferncombe and Dennis Kelly.
Yeah, and I suppose that will be a concern for Tipperary, because, you know, as we said, with the condensed season and the games coming quick and fast, if you do pick up an injury, it's going to be hard to rehab it maybe and get back into a team like that. So a little bit of concern for Grace O'Brien as she comes off to applause here, but like, what a sub to have to introduce. Mary Ryan gone in around the middle of the field into her 20th season, I think, with Tipperary Senior Camogie, so huge player for them, and what a sub to have to bring on.
My, what a remarkable career has Mary Ryan enjoyed with Tipperary. This is the resulting free, and it is for down. Dervla McGee looking to direct it in towards the goal, and has done well. The white flag has been raised.
Yeah, and probably a just reward for Dervla and the work she's got through there in the second half. You know, she's been probably carrying the fight solo up front from around the middle of the field to Tipperary from a down point of view, and has had a couple of driving runs and has taken some heavy hits today. So, you know, a score for her for the efforts.
Tipperary goalkeeper Anya Slattery looking for options, goes long, delivers it out towards Ciara Maher. There also for Tipperary, the long serving Cote Devan and Mary Ryan. Tip have possession, Roisin Howard, good release inside, still Tip though are at midfield, and Caoimhe Maher. Caoimhe Maher has options. Tipperary have a full forward line waiting patiently inside to maybe receive it from Gemma Fox and co. From where the initial incident happened, the referee giving the free for Tipperary.
Yeah, the initial pullback there on Gemma Fox, and the advantage given, but obviously didn't accrue with the pass in, so a chance now for Cotavan and her first free of the day.
The resulting free for Tipperary's Cote Devan. Cote Devan not easy here at the Ragg today. Devan's effort directed in towards the goal just outside the left-hand upright, and so it remains. Tipperary 3 goals and 11 down 3 points. 22 minutes or thereabouts played of the second half. Down looking to keep the ball alive and managing to do so. Derval Savage is wearing the number 7 jersey. It's Claire McGilligan that is wearing 4. Down getting it away. Tipper onto it here, Sarah Delaney. That ball was thrown perhaps by Mary Ryan. It's going to be a free for down.
Yeah, and Mary seems to be operating nearly around centre forward there, and I'd say has probably over her years covered every position for Tipperary all over the field. Unusual to see her, having played full back this year, to see her out there covering around Grace O'Brien, but just blown for the throw on that occasion. But you could see again what Tip were trying to develop, and Mary saw the run coming off her shoulder and was just looking to get that quick pass away.
And from Courtney Ryan all the way to Cote Devan for Tipperary towards the goal. Not quite there.
No, the range is just not quite there yet. It's coming in, but as I said, it's a difficult day to be for free taking or from long distance shooting. The wind is swirling down there, and there's a bit of rain on it as well, so it's not easy to, even for a player the calibre of Cotavan.
The resulting goal delivery is away by Catherine McGorty. Down knocking it forward, Derval Savage. Down looking for a free, none given. Here's Derval McGee. The block down was effective by Sarah Delaney at the expense of a line pole. The line pole is for down.
Yeah, and you know, Down just starting to maybe, you know, show a glimpse of what they're capable of, but you know, probably have just come up and noticed the big step up from Division 2 this year, and Tip just really, I suppose, showing them how it's done today. A super block there from Sarah Delaney, watched the ball the whole way, and down with the resulting sideline.
And entrusted with this strike is Claire McGilligan. McGilligan drives it through. It's been blocked, however. Tipperary have claimed possession with Julianne Burke. Tip haven't found that many scores in the second half, but it certainly hasn't been easy here at their home pitch in the Ragg. Tip have possession. That's into the paths of Ciara Maher. Claire Hogan is perhaps trying to involve herself as well. However, it's down emerging with the slither, and that's Clara Cowan that has done enough to earn the free from the Cork referee.
Yeah, and unfortunately from a down point of view, the frees that they are winning just seem to be kind of back in their own half back line more so than in any real scoreable danger, and any ball they've gotten up to date, you know, the Tip full back line, half back line have been well capable and well able to deal with.
Here's the effort forward by Aoife Cohn towards the attacking 45. Down have possession. The advantage is going their way. Can they make the most of it? They can't, but they still will have a free. And a free that they might drop short and try and steal a goal here at the Ragg.
Yeah, and again, it was that player at number 6 on her back, Derval McGee, driving forward again. She's really, as I said, she's carried this game to Tip from a down point of view in that second half. You know, Derval Savage at left half back has come into it, and she's been having some huge battles there in her own half back line. And, you know, I think since Down maybe released Derval McGee further out the field from centre back, they've probably gotten a little bit more reward for it and have created a little bit more up front.
McGee with the resulting free from inside the 45, dropping it in. It's going to be a testing one for the full back line, but the breeze has carried it out over the end line, and possession is back with Tipperary in the form of a goal puck out to be taken by Onya Slattery, and Slattery gets us back underway smartly to Courtney Ryan, and Tipperary pushing through. Available outside are plenty of players, including Gemma Fox. Fox for Tipperary, looking to be at the end of that one. It's tricky. Tip have Courtney Ryan away. Centre half back, Courtney Ryan was forced into releasing that one, and luckily for her, Roisin Howard and others were available, as Tip now drop this one through towards their attack with Cote de Van in there. Tip have possession. Cote de Van, this is going to travel in towards the goal, and will it carry out over the inline? It does just about.
Yeah, and I suppose Tip just with no real options in that full forward line at the moment. You know, they've just drifted out the field a little bit, I suppose, and that's due to the weather conditions maybe, and just trying to get numbers back behind the ball, but it leaves them void of options up front and forces them to take those shots from further out.
Tipperary looking for an option. It's Claire Hogan that was looking to be at the end of that one. Goalkeeper calls herself into action, Catherine McGorty. McGorty finds her midfielder, Clara Cowan. Cowan brings play out the field of play as far as her listed full forward, Lauren Clark. Clark tosses this one through. The Tip defence looking to be equal to on this occasion. However, it's Derval McGee. McGee towards her full forward area. Down are still searching for their long-awaited goal. They've been forced to settle for just 3 points this afternoon on this their long trip to the opening round of the Littlewoods Ireland League campaign here to the Ragg. Referee eventually does whistle up play, and it's going to be a free for Tipperary.
Yeah, and again, I think it was Sarah Ryan there in at full back driving out with that ball, and that's something Tip have been so good at today, is when they are in possession, they're driving out, they're looking for the player to pop the pass to, and if they are fouled, then the resulting free is going down the line and setting them on the attack again. That full back line have been, you know, they haven't had a whole lot to do today, but anything they've had been asked to do, they've done exceptionally well with.
Ciara Brennan and others looking to set up this attack here for Tipperary, and it's worked out okay. Here's the final effort in towards the goal, and again it's going to be just a little bit short from the stick of Tip's Claire Hogan. Down looking to hold on to possession, and they do so with Derval Savage and others. Down looking for a way out. Tip have managed to win it against the odds. There may be a shot here for Roisin Howard. Forced to release it back out the field of play. Here's the final effort, and over the crossbar from the stick of Ciara Maher.
Yeah, lovely. And again, look, just Tip, I suppose, recycling the ball, had the initial shot. Down looked to have dealt with it, but then Tip were able to recycle it again, and Roisin Howard with the lovely pass back out to Ciara Maher, and the score to finish it then.
That brings Tipperary now on to 3 goals and 12. They'll be very happy with their scoring return here at the Ragg this afternoon, albeit most of those scores arriving in the first 30 minutes. Liz Dempsey awarding the line ball near sideline. It will be for down. Lauren Clark there, full forward. Gets us back underway. Unable to hold her footing, Derval McGee for once, but she's been one of the better players here for Down. Also very much involved in the action, Clara Cowan. Cowan for Down. Tries to gain some little bit of ground inside the 45. In terms of the time, we're playing the closing stages. There will be a few minutes of injury time to be allowed as well, as this one whipped all the way down towards Claire Hogan, Tipperary's full forwards. Claire Hogan has done well. It's Hogan that has set up this inviting ball for Cote d'Ivoire. My word, Down have managed to win it against the odds as they release it through towards the defensive 45 in Claire McGilligan territory. Tifa players coming through. They're looking for something before the end of this one. It's Maher once again towards the goal, and the goalkeeper has deflected it out for the first 65 of the day.
Yeah, just out Catherine McGorty. I think caught just maybe a little bit off position at the moment. I'm not sure would it have dropped wide on its own if she hadn't put a hurl to it. But again, Tip with a really, really good build-up, dispossessed Down on the way out and turned it over. But Ciara Maher forced to take the shot, I suppose, from a little bit further out there. Maybe she'd be comfortable in that breeze. But Tip with no options inside in the full forward line at the moment and forced to take those longer shots.
The resulting 45 going the way of Tipperary. The 45 so for Tipperary. Will it result in a score? It's sent in towards the goal. And yes, it's good. Cote d'Ivoire has that score. Umpire wasn't in a mad rush to raise the white flag.
No, Cote d'Ivoire generally doesn't miss from those, and I know she'd had a couple of wides on the left, so certainly has found her range at this stage and made that 45 look simple into the wind.
Aoife Keown's delivery outfield, although it gives Tipperary a chance, and Cote d'Ivoire has hit her second point inside maybe 30-40 seconds.
Yeah, you don't give chances like that to Cote d'Ivoire, just a silly ball across the square, I suppose, from a down point of view, and Cote d'Ivoire no better player to read it and then punish you for it.
So d'Ivoire with those two late points pushing Tipperary into an even more comfortable position here at the Ragg. Ball forward for Cote d'Ivoire, and Tipperary once again intercepted here and taken by Aoife Keown for Down as they whip it out the field of play. Still it's Tip, and Cote d'Ivoire certainly making a telling impact here late on for Tipperary as the ball finds its way towards Claire Hogan. Hogan for Tipperary. Coming through way over the right is Roisin Howard. She is spotted. Here's Howard going for her score and taking it very, very impressively.
Yeah, super calling from Roisin Howard once Claire Hogan got into possession there. Roisin made the run and totally unmarked down the right hand sideline there, and when she got her opportunity she was going to put it well over the bar, and a point for her to add to her one from the first half.
It sends Tipperary on to 3 goals and 15 as Down have been locked for quite a while on 3 points. A difficult journey home for Down. But there'll be brighter days ahead for Down, and Tip for their part will be looking with confidence now forward to the rest of the National League, a league that they feel they might have left behind them last season given what happened against Kilkenny in the semi-final. Anyhow, we're back underway here at the Ragg, and if we are, it's Down that have possession. Ball inside for Tipperary. Roisin Howard wins the free, and she's going to pump this well down the field of play. We're into the 4th minute of stoppage time. Tipperary with a free, and Caoimhe Maher popped inside the 45. Down her first to it, and having a reasonably good game for Down this afternoon. Aoife Keown in that number 8 jersey. Tipper not finished yet. It's Mary Ryan way towards the left, and there are plenty of players available here for Tipperary. Will there be another score? Oh, there will. This is a very, very good and polished performance by Tipperary in the first round of the Littlewoods Ireland League here at the Ragg this afternoon.
Yeah, lovely score again for Ciara Brennan to finish off the scoring for Tip today, but it all came from a really, really clever ball from Mary Ryan, I suppose, caught in possession on the right hand wing here and totally opened the play by swinging that ball across to the left hand side and into the path of Ciara Brennan, and took her score really, really well and made an impact once she was introduced at half time today.
So it has finished here in the Ragg. A convincing win for Tipperary as they beat down. Final scoreline, Tipperary 3 goals and 16, down 3 points. We'll have reaction from here shortly.
Paul, a tough day at the office, I suppose. We spoke beforehand and we knew it was going to be about learning, but a couple of good lessons, I suppose, to take away from today.
Of course, tough day at the office, but as I said at the outset, this is about development. Difficult conditions for both teams, no doubt about that, but I have to tell you, Tipperary very clinical in their finishing, took the goals very, very well, the chances very, very well, and we, as a contingent, and certainly in the second half, we're very happy with our performance. We competed all over the pitch, that's what it's all about, competing, from corner forward through the corner back, and I think in the second half, most certainly we got that.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose a lot of the damage was probably done in that first half, and it probably takes a little bit of time just to get to the pace of the game. But I felt once you had some real standout performances in that second half.
Well, we most certainly did. I mean, Planet Savage, Aoife Keown, to me stood out in terms of the sort of down setup. And as I said, it's only 5 weeks into the year. There's another number of games to go. And certainly by the end of the year, I'd be very confident we're in a place where we want to be.
Yeah, brilliant. And it is all about learning, I suppose. Your new management team in, as I said, a couple of really experienced players gone from the panel at the moment. So it is about learning week on week for you.
Well, it is. I mean, we're missing several top class players, and there's no doubt about that. But as I said at the outset, we have a number of other young players who are young and talented and who want to play for Down, and we're given an opportunity to play, certainly for Down, throughout the National League.
Certainly, and they certainly show that out there today. I think certainly some green shoots in that second half performance, and it is all about building for the championship, I suppose, from here on in and learning as you go.
That is. I mean, National League to me is about development, about learning, us trying to improve the individuals as players and obviously as a team over the course of the next number of weeks and months. But the prize is performing when we come to the championship, and that's our focus this year.
Yeah, certainly, and best of luck to you in that. All right, thanks for your time, Paul. Thank you. And just call in maybe Grace O'Brien there today from the midfield as she limps in. Sorry, Grace, we won't keep it too long, but super start, I suppose, for yourself personally and for Tip in the league today. It's nice to get up and running.
Yeah, it's brilliant. We were dying to get going, I suppose, really since we got knocked out last year. So it's we were dying to get going. So it's great to get it started, and it's just great to get a win. That's all we're focusing on today.
Yeah, some strong performances, as I said. Some of the Drum and Inch girls, I suppose, some of the more experienced players not there, but you had some really good young players who stood up today and certainly put their hand up for a starting place.
Yeah, I think since the beginning of the league we said we wanted to blood a few new players and get the competition up within the panel. We have a 30 strong panel, 34 strong panel, so we don't want to be relying on any girls to come in and have to set the standard. So I think we did that today. I think we worked really hard, and there's a lot of improvements, but I think it was a good start, definitely.
Yeah, super. And even from your own personal performance, I suppose you popped up all over the field there in that first half. You were clearing ball from your full back line, and next minute you popped up with a score on the other end. So you're flying around the middle of the field and took over the free taking duties today from Caught.
Yeah, look, I think I'd say when she's back starting, I'd say she'll take him back. There's no worry about that. But no, look, it's great to get out there and we're just enjoying playing, So that's the most important thing. When you enjoy it, you'll stay going.
Perfect. And picked up a bit of a knock at the end there, but nothing too serious, we hope.
Hopefully, yeah, nothing too serious. Just collision of knees. So in this wind or in this weather, it's not too nice. So
it'd be grand to have any excuse to come off. But look, we won't keep you any longer. So get in and get dressed up and get looked after. And thanks a million. Well done today.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
Joined now by Tip manager Bill Mullaney when he's finished chatting on the sideline there. Bill, super start, I suppose. Great to get up and running and a good performance.
Yeah, look, I thought it was a good performance. Yeah, from for the first half in particular, we really got our game going early, and the girls applied themselves and worked very hard, and that was the whole thing about today. Working hard, getting going, getting the league off to a good start, and I thought we did that.
You did, and I thought you played some lovely hurling. There was some lovely off the shoulder run and lovely connection play. There was I think one of the goals in the first half came all the way from the full back line, lovely through the hands and finished the player running. So it's obviously something you're working on.
Yeah, look, I mean, we have to be working on everything, but we're working on that as well as always supporting the player, So I mean, you know yourself from playing, like if you turn around and there's nobody with you, I mean, jeez, but we worked it well. I thought we took some great scores, and as I say, like we worked through the lines and tried to be patient on the ball and try and get take the best opportunity that was available to us,
Yeah. And you were ruthless when you had to be. When the goal opportunities presented themselves, I think you took them really, really well, and that'll stand to you going forward.
Yeah, hopefully, something as well we need to work on is probably getting goals. We're probably not, as you say, clinical enough or ruthless enough in some cases, or I think last year as well we probably could have gone or taken more goals or more goal opportunities, which we didn't, and we suffered from. So something else we have to consider this year as well, Yeah,
and a chance to run out the panel there today. Some good performances from some new players. Courtney Ryan at centre back, I thought had a really good game for you today.
Yeah, look, Courtney's a fabulous player, you know, centre back with Clonalty in the county final again this year. She's a fabulous player. We ran out the panel, we only had 21, so I mean, you know, everybody was getting an opportunity today. And the girls we took off didn't do anything wrong. It's just that we need to see everybody as well and give everybody an opportunity, you know. And it took them a while, the players that came on the second half, to get going. So, you know, I mean, everybody's in with a chance, and you know, it's up to themselves to put their hand up. You know, we need to have all those, you know, we need to have options. We need to have girls looking over their shoulders. We need to have competition within the panel. You know, every panel wants that. You know.
Yeah, absolutely, and with the likes of Drum and Inch girls to come back into it, I suppose it really drives training on now for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have to. Drum and Inch girls will be back in another couple of weeks. I think they need a good break. You know, they had a long year, 14 months hurling without a break is a long time. But I mean, look, it's great to have known that they're coming back in as well. But you know, at the same time, they'll have to earn the jersey if they want to get it. You know, it's not a gimme, or we're not handing it out like cheaply either. The girls that are there now are doing a great job. Had a great start today, but you know, it's only a start. We need to drive on and get more.
Well, exactly. Well, it's a great start, Bill, and congratulations and best of luck for the rest of the league.
Thanks very much.
So that's it from the Ragg today. Littlewoods Ireland Division 1 League up and running. A win for the host Tipperary, comprehensively beating Down here today in their first season up in Division 1 Camogie. Wins also for Kilkenny in Group 2. So the league now teed up nicely. My thanks to the lads here from Entry, to Mal on commentary. That's it from the Ragg today. Keep an eye on social media for all the upcoming Camogie fixtures over the next couple of weekends. Minor games all over the country tomorrow with Ashburn Cup during the week. So no shortage of Camogie action. So from me here in wet and windy Ragg, thanks very much to all the lads, and thanks for tuning in.